You are listening to the Fairways and Fundraising podcast, powered by Golf Event Planning, discussing charity fundraising and successful golf outings, along with tips and tricks of the trade. Now here's your host, Larry Battaglia.
Hello, and welcome to Fairways and Fundraising, powered by Golf Event Planning. I'm your host, Larry Battaglia. This is episode number 27, and today we have a remote session, quarantine edition, as we're in phase 2 here in New York. A good friend of mine for many years now. I've been working with this gentleman on various golf outings for the past 5 years or so. The president emeritus of the Townwide Fund of Huntington and the director of business development for Bowler Engineering, Mr. Jim Powers. How you doing today, Jim?
Great, Larry. I really appreciate it. Thanks for having me on your show. You do great service. You work with so many different charities, and we're just happy to be in your fold and talk about our golf outings today.
Jim, no, thanks. Listen, I can't do it without great clients like you guys and the Townwide Fund of Huntington. And I am a resident of the town of Huntington, living in East Northport, Suffolk County, Long Island. And, we're practically neighbors, but it's really near and dear to our hearts that we work with a great local organization like the Townwide Fund of Huntington. Explain to the listeners exactly what the Townwide Fund of Huntington is all about.
Sure, I appreciate that opportunity. And you live within the town, so you can see it firsthand. But the organization was started about 60 years ago. It was really born out of the Chamber of Commerce in Huntington. And essentially, there were so many charities coming around to the folks, trying to hit them up for golf outings or galas, one thing after the other. So a number of people said, let's form a charity that takes care of all these charities and maybe even incubates them as they mature. So over about 60 years ago, members high up in society, actually, doctors, attorneys, businessmen, industry executives, put together the Townwide Fund. It's morphed obviously over the years. I think it's one of only 2 remaining charities that are community chest really in the town. So our motto has always been money raised in Huntington stays in Huntington. We're very diligent on that. We vet all our charities and we ask them where the money's going to go. At the end of the year, we make sure it has gone to that. And we don't give money to administrative costs, overhead, that sort of thing. It goes right to the people of Huntington. So right now we're almost 40 different charities that we give money to. And this golf outing, and now we're going to have 2 this year, which we'll get into, is just one of like 5 different types of events that we have. We have 2 major runs in town. One is the Irish Day, St. Patrick's Day run, which we renamed the Hartigan Irish Run for B. Hartigan, who's one of our board members now this year for 50 years. It's a phenomenal achievement. And we also had Joanne Rea was a board member for 40 years with us. So it's some of the stalwarts of the town. So that we have 2 runs, and the Thanksgiving run, I think everybody knows that runs out of the American Legion Hall on Thanksgiving Day, which is huge. We have about 2,500 runners for that. And obviously our golf outing and our gala. Our gala is usually held in February, could be either at the Castle or the Harbor Club, and really does a nice job. And our golf outing. And our golf outing is usually one of the first of the year, as you know, Larry. So at the beginning of May, it's springtime. We're finally getting out there. We're one of the first ones, so we do not have much competition on a Thursday. And we usually have some nice clubs. This year, it'll be at the Huntington Crescent Club. But we've had it at Indian Hills, we've had it at Cold Spring Country Club, and even a little bit at Huntington. So again, keeping all the business in town. But as you know, with COVID, we had to postpone our golf outing, and it will be October 13th this year. So instead of being one of the first, it might be one of the last. But we're going to have it. It's going to be a phenomenal day. And to sort of bridge the gap, we've come up with a virtual golf outing that we could all participate in July. So between July 4th and July 31st, we're calling it Get Out and Golf for Good. It's a virtual charity golf event, and those proceeds will go to COVID-19 relief issues here in the town of Huntington. So I'm sure we'll mention exactly how to do it, but if you go to townwidefund.org, you can register. Essentially, it's pretty simple. You get at your own pace to play three rounds in that July time period and post those rounds back on the website with your handicap, and these for golfers that do have handicaps, with a course slope and rating. And there'll be a leaderboard, and the winners will get prizes. So that's pretty interesting. And if you're not a handicapped golfer, you could also sign up for just $25 and post any score, and there's prizes there as well. So we have a little bit for everybody this year, Larry.
Yeah, I'm very proud to be working with you guys on probably the first ever virtual golf outing. I mean, what a cool concept. You touched on so many great things here, but I think the most important of what you just said is all the different events that you guys do. A lean, mean organization that has very little overhead costs and really tries to let the donors know exactly where their money goes. It goes to help these families and charities in need in the town of Huntington. But you have to continue to fundraise. You know, it doesn't stop. Every month, couple of months, you have an event going on.
Absolutely. You have to keep out there. We actually do some direct mail and digital platforms on our website, but we reach out to every household in the town. And our town's been very, very generous over the years. And we give money to, different charities that they're very familiar with, like the Dolan Health Center, Family Service League. We give money to General Needs, which helps out our veterans, the local YMCA, obviously Long Island Cares, Meals on Wheels, Visiting Nurse Service, and I can go on and on. Tri-Village, Living Waters, Literacy, Suffolk, Junior Welfare League, one thing after another, Huntington Breast Cancer. So, and we give the money to specific programs. So it could be for a specific piece of equipment. It could be for a specific program. It could be just food and cards that will help out our needy citizens.
And an organization that's been around for 60 years. It's just truly amazing the amount of people you help. That is some list that you just rattled off, and I'm sure we didn't even touch on half of the charities that you deal with.
Absolutely. Larry said it might be like 40 minutes, so we might be here a couple hours if we had to list all our great charities. One thing I wanted to bring up is the golf outing in October. I just wanted to mention our honorees, which are Signature Premier Properties, one of the greatest real estate companies in the town, and headed by Peter Morris and Kathy Biard, who are great people. They're so nice. They're probably going to be mad at me I mentioned their names. They just really want us to support their brokers and their business. They're so generous. We really appreciate it. And this is actually the first year we're going to do a golf and tennis outing at the same time at the magnificent Huntington Crescent Club. And this year's tennis honoree is Allie Mitchell. As you know, Mitchell's of Huntington is one of the greatest retail centers in town, really high-end product and great service. And she's also very involved in Pink Aid, too. So we're going to give a shout out to Allie Mitchell and that great charity.
Yeah, I'm a customer at Mitchell's, actually. So I've never met Allie before, but I'm definitely a patron in their store in Huntington. It's just something how everything kind of comes full circle. Now, I used to work at the Hamlet in Comac, and we always had a tennis tournament there every year. But when you talk about tennis, the Huntington Crescent Club has some beautiful, beautiful courts.
Absolutely. We've been at the Crescent Club for most of the outings that we've had. We sort of went away a little bit when we had different honorees, and it's the honorees' choice where to go and where to take our business. But while they were doing the construction, we gave them a little break there at the Crescent Club and moved on to different things in Huntington. But glad to be back. They treat us so well there. It's phenomenal. Just to give everybody an idea, a foursome this year will be $2,100, which if you get all the charitable golf outings sent to you and business outings, you can tell that's actually a pretty nice bargain. And you get a T-sign with that. But we have different sponsorships available, platinum, gold, silver, bronze, that include different things. We have a phenomenal dinner afterwards and different signages, and we promote our sponsors very much. So as you can see, we're on your podcast, which gets a lot of viewership or listening-ship, if you will. But we have different event sponsors, bubbly sponsors, towel sponsors, you name it. You can get your sign and your business out there. So not only that, if you play golf with us, we have great things on the course, like everybody does, long drive, closest to the pin, all that kind of stuff. In the past, we've had celebrities join us. A couple of Yankees a couple of years ago helped us out with Cecil Fielder, was on our first tee, and you had to outdrive him, which was a lot of fun. And we had Jim Leyritz on one of our par threes to try to beat the king. That's been a lot of fun. So you never know what we're going to have out there. fun and games. It's all included. We don't hit you up every other hole, that sort of thing. It's all about fun, good games, and obviously charity.
Yeah, and when you get there to the golf outing, there's always some great swag. Maybe there's some local vendors out there on the course. Six Harbors in particular, which is a microbrewery in the town of Huntington. You do rotate the golf outing always in the town of Huntington area. So, different golf courses. Now back at the Huntington Crescent Club. This is the day after Columbus Day, October 13th. That's when the actual golf outing is going to be going on, and then the virtual golf outing, which can be the all month of July, which we're going to get into shortly on how you can participate for that fun event. But for the October event, it all comes down to your sponsors, and you have some great, great local support from a lot of great people.
No, I appreciate that. Our sponsors are really what makes this thing tick. Canon here in the town of Huntington, their headquarters, their USA headquarters, have been a phenomenal corporate sponsor for us for years. We also have Clarity Surgical, People's United Bank, Borg & Borg Insurance, GEI Consultants, Brown & Altman, great law firm here in our town, TD Bank, Empire, Labooty Jewelers, Land Rover, and where I work, Bowler and the Bowler Engineering crew have done great things for us over the years. I've been a member of the Townwide Fund for 12 years. Bowler's been a sponsor for the last 10 and has done amazing things. So they're civil engineers, and they help build a lot of the things here in town, including the Canon headquarters in town, TD Banks. They're involved in the town and the charities here in town. So we thank them and all our sponsors.
Yeah, and being past president of the Townwide Fund of Huntington, and now your title is President Emeritus, basically lifetime president of the organization. Fast forward now, Dave Altman of Brown & Altman is the current president of the Townwide Fund.
Yeah, Dave has done great work for our fund. Essentially, I've been involved in the charity for about 13 years, and I was president for 11 of those. So I think they got tired of me a little bit, and it was a long road, and we did a lot of great work. So they said, here's a title, let's get somebody else involved. And I was glad to bring up David, and he and his firm have been sponsors since day one as well, with Keith Brown and their partners. They're land use attorneys here in town, and they've worked on many of the projects that we use, live, work, and play in. So everybody comes together. Fantastic board. We have over 30 board members from all walks of life. We have politicians can't be involved in this because, we know how that goes, but business leaders, attorneys, doctors, graphic designers, everybody in town. It's a great cross section. It really represents what the town is about. And we've been raising money for over 60 years for our citizens. So we're all very proud to be involved in this.
Yeah, a lot of great people that really embrace the mission and are really compassionate and sincere about the mission of the Townwide Fund of Huntington. And it's just been, so rewarding, as I said earlier, to work with you guys for the last few years, being a resident in the town of Huntington.
No, I appreciate that. And I'd be very remiss if I didn't mention our executive director and her assistant, Debbie Knowles, but Alice Marie Rourke has been our executive for the past year and a half or so, and she's done some phenomenal work for us and our people, our board. We're singing, we're meeting, we're virtual, we're happy, we're raising funds, we're introducing people, and we're still doing events, as you can see. So even virtually, we're raising money for our citizens. So we have some emergency grants we put out there in the last couple of weeks. When we hear that there's an issue or a problem with people not getting funds or food, these type of things, we jump right on it. And Alice Marie is all over it, and we're glad to help.
Yeah, she's been great. I was just about to say she's the glue that basically holds this all together with all the different board members from walks of life, as you mentioned. And she's a very positive person, very upbeat, has a great fundraising background, really a great asset to the organization.
Absolutely.
So now we mentioned a lot of different events that you have going on. Let's talk right now about the virtual golf outing. For those listeners out there, probably never heard of such a thing or didn't even know that you could do something like this. The virtual golf outing is basically where golfers can sign up on the website at the townwidefund.org. they can sign up and pay a fee and then play any golf course that they play. Doesn't have to be in the town of Huntington. It could be anywhere that they play, if it's their local country club, if it's a public golf course, and then they would submit those scores back once they play. So they can either play 1 round or 3 rounds. If they play 3 rounds and they take the best score of the 3, we'll have a digital leaderboard that they can view to see where they stand, and then prizes will be given out at the end of the month, at the end of July. So it's just a fun idea, and also something that's not going to cost the golfers that same price tag in case they're going through financial hardship.
Absolutely. This is a great way to donate and still have fun on your own safely and put those scores in. And obviously, we know all golfers in the town of Huntington are honest. So we're going to get the right scores, and there'll be prizes for the top 3 men and women based on a gross low net score. We're hoping a lot of people get involved. It's a very simple sign up. So essentially, if it's 3 rounds and you paid $65 as your donation, it's a little over $20 a round. That's a pretty nice deal.
It is, and you can sign up individually. So you don't need to get friends to play with you. You can sign up individually and play whenever you choose. If it's a normal game that you have on the weekends, you can turn that score in. But basically, it's a great way to help a local organization and get out. Right now, we're just all looking to get out, and golf courses are packed. And this is just a great way for them to help local organizations and local families that are affected by COVID-19.
Very true. And Larry, you might want to mention some of your great people that you bring to the table, like Merce and Adidas, because we'll have some nice things happening with our golfers at our True Golf outing in October.
Well, that's true. We're fortunate to partner with a lot of these great vendors and the relationships that we have. But you're right. Last couple of years at your golf outing, we had Adidas there handing out golf shoes. And that's a pretty impressive gift when golfers get there. I find that some golfers even forget their golf shoes, if that's possible, but they forget their golf shoes getting there. And when they get to the Townwide Fund of Huntington golf outing, they're getting a brand new pair of golf shoes. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, and don't forget the pro shop there at the Crescent Club has some amazing things. So, feel free to go in there and buy some of your golf goods. Not everybody gets a chance to play these great private courses all the time. So this is a fantastic opportunity. So good prizes will be handed out. Obviously, long drive, closest to the line, straightest drive, I should say, closest to the holes. We always have cars as prizes on our par 3. So that's something to look at. We have great sponsors in that, and especially King O'Rourke Cadillac. So it's good stuff.
It definitely is. You can follow the Townwide Fund on social media also. They're on Facebook at Townwide Fund Huntington, and also on Instagram at Townwide Fund. And with this virtual golf outing, the hashtag is going to be Golf for Good. So as golfers are getting out there, we're going to use the hashtag Golf for Good just to create some interaction and some buzz and excitement about this great virtual golf outing. And then in the fall, as Jim mentioned, October 13th, it's the Tuesday after Columbus Day, the actual golf outing, and that's where we're going to be at the Huntington Crescent Club in Huntington, Long Island. It's actually in Centerport. And Jim, you were talking about it before, what a great place that is. But I actually was fortunate last year to play the club one day in July. It was right after an event that we had run. And I mean, they had that place set up like a U.S. Open. The greens, the perfectly manicured, they're rolling the greens every day. The greens were quick and fast, and they blew out a ton of trees. I mean, it is just an awesome track now.
Yeah, you have to bring your A game for sure. True golfers will love the track, love the conditions. It's never better. And the casual golfer would just love the whole experience of the private country club from when you walk up till when you leave. The service is phenomenal. The drinks, the food is out of this world. So the whole experience is pretty nice. So looking forward.
And you never bogey at the 19th hole. And let me tell you, how beautiful is that brand new clubhouse, huh?
Absolutely it is. I actually have some great memories there. I have a hole-in-one on the 6th hole there a few years ago. So
how cool is that?
That's some great memories on that course.
Oh, that's great. Is that your first ever hole-in-one?
No, actually, that was my second hole-in-one. And the interesting thing about it, they both happen on the same date, June 3rd.
That's incredible.
First one was at the the Crab Meadow course in Northport, and the next anniversary, the first anniversary of that hole in one, I had one at the Crescent Club. So it's pretty interesting. I play every June 3rd now, as you can imagine.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it. Whether rain or shine, man, doesn't matter.
Absolutely.
Get out there. Oh, that's pretty awesome. You know, you remember those moments too, the rest of your life. You remember exactly where you were, what you did, what you hit. It's a funny thing when people talk about a hole in one. You know, if you hit it 2 inches from the hole, it was a damn good shot. But if you hit it in the hole, they'll say, you got lucky.
Absolutely. My first one was a little bit of luck. It just got a good bounce and it went in. The second one I hit pretty pure, so I knew it would probably hit the pin, but I was lucky enough to get the right bounce and went in the hole. So great memories, great people to be with, and they bring it up all the time as well too. So a lot of fun.
Again, you can follow the Townwide Fund on social media. It's on Instagram, it's Townwide Fund, and Facebook, it's Townwide Fund Huntington. We hope you like this episode. Please remember to subscribe, rate, and review. We appreciate it. Let's talk about our advertiser. You know, I usually record and edit this podcast in my home office. And when I work, I need to get in the zone. For me, I feel more productive when I wear a collared shirt, but you're crazy if you think I'm going to put on a heavy cotton button-down shirt. I need to be comfortable if I'm working for a long period of time. Recently, through a friend of mine, I got connected to this new brand called Tillinger. They make my new favorite polo shirt. It's soft, breathable, and uses higher quality performance fabric, so I'm more comfortable. Work in it, golf in it, play in it, anything you want. No logo either, so you don't look like you just got off the golf course. Right now, they're donating 10% of every purchase to COVID-19 relief. I can't recommend them enough. Their website is shoptillinger.com. That's shop, TILLINGER.com. Check them out. Jim, during this whole COVID-19, now we've been quarantined for the last 3.5, almost 4 months now. What's going on with the Townwide Fund and how they're helping people during this time of crisis?
Thanks for bringing it up, Larry. And trying times, to be sure. We've had even close friends who have passed or have had it and fought through it. But we've been operating the whole time. Again, Alice Marie has done a phenomenal job doing that. We're on the front lines of hearing where the town needs help, whether it's emergency funds, emergency food, or whatever we can assist with. So we've been there. And while we're trying to maintain our normal business of events and reach outs and the connections, we've been able to do that virtually. Thank God. We're helping the people out. So we're very proud of that. It's never enough. There's obviously still people that are hungry in town. There are people that are homeless, and there are people that need help mentally, physically, childcare wise, everything. So our work is never done. We wish we could close the fund, and that would only be because everybody in the town was safe, healthy, fed, and housed. But until that happens, we're working hard. And thank you, Larry, for help promoting this and helping the people in the town of Huntington. We'll keep the Townwide Fund of Huntington going and going strong.
Yeah, it's our pleasure. And again, it's a great organization for you listeners out there, a great grassroots organization that helps individuals, families in the town of Huntington that are not in good shape right now between the COVID-19 and those less fortunate. They're doing such great work. All the different organizations that they help with all the different events that they're putting on. Most notably now, the most current event is this virtual golf outing that we're talking about. It's July 4th through July 31st. You can play anywhere that you play. You just need to register on the Townwide Fund website at townwidefund.org and submit your score. That's a great way to help a grassroots organization really help the people in need of this great township. And now, as we move into later in the year, we have the golf outing in October, which has been postponed from May. It's October 13th at the Great Huntington Crescent Club. It's the day after Columbus Day. And as Jim mentioned, they've also added a tennis element this year. Great grass tennis courts at the Huntington Crescent Club. Great golf course, great clubhouse. Got to come out. Foursomes for the golfers are 2,100, and it includes a tee sign. Jim, let's go back to our honorees for that October event. Signature Premier Properties, those individuals there on the golf side, and then also the tennis honoree, Allie Mitchell of Mitchell's.
They're great. They've been really promoting us, and we look to promote them. If you're looking to buy or sell a house, that's a good place to show up as our golf outing, because you're going to have a lot of realtors there, a lot of brokers there to help you out and get you where you want to be in the town. So looking forward to it. Hopefully October 13th, where this is well behind us and we don't have to postpone. We're not planning on it. People are playing golf now, so it should be even better and safer in October. So can't wait, but let's not throw away the summer yet. Let's enjoy the summer, but look forward to us at October 13th.
That's right. And I think golfers are really looking to get out. The Townwide Fund golf outing is always a fun day, a great day. We mentioned all the different vendors, great swag, just the golf, the clubhouse, everything is just awesome. It's going to be a great day. And October typically can be some beautiful weather at the beginning of October like this. Beautiful weather, not too hot. And golfers, I think, right now are just looking for those events. Many events have been canceled, and there are just few maybe now that have been postponed to the fall. So we appreciate if you consider the Townwide Fund's golf outing to come out and support in October, or at the very least, maybe jump on board with this virtual golf outing.
Absolutely. And if I can, if you don't mind me telling your listeners, Larry, some of our other agencies that we give money to that I haven't mentioned before. We have the Federation of Organizations, Gateway Community Garden, the Girl Scouts, Guide Dog Foundation. Now, if you know, the Guide Dog Foundation sits in Smithtown, but our money goes to train dogs that will go to Huntington residents. So, and they use Huntington Village as the way they train dogs. So you'll see the guide dogs all around Huntington all the time. Growing Jewish, the Huntington Breast Cancer Action Coalition, the Huntington Foundation for Excellence in Education, Island Harvest, Junior Welfare League, Long Island Against Domestic Violence, Literacy Suffolk, Living Waters Counseling Center, Moon Jumpers, which is a great charity that we team up with, North Shore Holiday House, Reach Community and Youth Agency, the St. John Lynn Nursing Center, Suffolk-wide Jewish Community Center, the Tri-Community Youth Agency, and Youth Directives and Alternatives. So other than the ones I spoke to before, again, those are some of the agencies that we give money to. We also talk to new organizations that are looking to get off the ground. And we call that in an area, a group of agencies called the Goldstein Grants. And that's after Arthur Goldstein, who was deceased, God rest his soul, longtime president years ago and a stalwart in the Huntington community. I think he was on the board of almost every charity in town. But we've named a bunch of charities under the Goldstein Grant moniker, if you will. And these are new emerging charities that we're looking to get off the ground and get them settled here in Huntington. We're very proud to be doing that as well.
Again, what an incredible organization, helping so many great local charities that you just mentioned, Jim. This virtual golf outing, we talked about it earlier, that when you sign up, if you're a serious golfer, you have a handicap, you're going to be able to participate on a leaderboard. We have men's and ladies divisions, both gross and net. Top 3 spots will get a prize. But also, if you're not a serious golfer, you can sign up and golf for fun, and then you automatically get put into a separate raffle for those individuals. So that's a great way to get involved with the organization, even if you're not a serious golfer, but maybe you want to get out, play, and help a great organization like the Townwide Fund. So you can go to their website to register for any of their great events. The next event, which is the virtual golf outing, July 4th through the 31st, you go to townwidefund.org to register. You can also follow them on social media, on Facebook, Townwide Fund Huntington, and Instagram, Townwide Fund. And don't forget, if you are posting about the virtual golf outing, to put up hashtag golf for good and make sure you tag the Townwide Fund. We absolutely love the relationship that we've had with the Townwide Fund for years. As I said, I'm a resident, so it is near and dear to me and close to home. My wife and I have participated in the Thanksgiving Day run when we were in a little bit better shape a few years ago. So another great event. You mentioned it before, Jim, the runs that you have both St. Patrick's Day and Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I appreciate that. And actually, while you're on our website, take a look at our other events. We're actually having a virtual run coming up right now. So usually we have in the middle of the summer, the fastest mile. It's a mile race in the town, in the village, but we're doing that virtually this year as well. So when you're on the website, if you're a runner, please look at that. If you're not a runner, it's only a mile and I think it's downhill. So even I could do that one. So look that up on the website.
I hear you. There's some serious hills in Huntington, that's for sure. I know that original run, you go right around the harbor and then up the hill towards Quandary Hall. And I mean, that's for serious runners.
Indeed it is.
Always fundraising, great events that they put on. The gala also, which is usually February in the beginning of the year. They usually have it at, either the Harbor Club at Prime in Huntington or the Oheka Castle, which is an absolutely breathtaking venue.
Yeah, this year we called it the Snowball Gala. So it was the middle of the winter. For years we've had it at Oheka, and we had it on Valentine's Day week, and we called it a red tie gala. So I think everybody was tired of the black ties. Men in red ties, women all wearing red, and it was a classy event. So keep an eye on that for this coming 2021 gala coming up.
Yeah, and if you want to get out in 2020 and help a great organization, what better way to do it than to either participate in the virtual golf outing that the Townwide Fund is putting on July 4th through July 31st. Again, you can play your local country club or your local golf course, wherever you play. You just have to sign up online at the townwidefund.org website to participate. But then we also have the golf outing, which has now been postponed to October 13th in the fall. It's the day after Columbus Day at the beautiful Huntington Crescent Club. And maybe you play tennis. Well, we're doing that too. So you can come on out, golf, tennis, and maybe even come to dinner and learn about some of these great organizations that the Townwide Fund helps.
Thanks so much, Larry.
It's my pleasure, Jim. Thanks very much for your time today. We hope you guys consider the Townwide Fund on your next golf event list. But if you have any questions about this virtual golf outing or the event in the fall, you certainly can contact me, and we will have all the links in our show notes for you to click on and register. So, Jim, thanks very much for your time, sharing the mission of the Townwide Fund of Huntington. It definitely is an organization that has really stand the test of time. 60 years helping a ton of great organizations.
I appreciate everything you've done for us, Larry. Thanks. Have a great day. And as always, hit them straight.
You too. Keep it in the fairway. Ciao, ciao for now.
Thank you for listening to the Fairways in Fundraising podcast, powered by Golf Event Planning. We hope you enjoyed this podcast, and please remember to subscribe, rate, and review.